Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 3343, Doubleshot number 3247. We're first discussing Impulse, issues 67 to 75, written by Todd DeZanko, artwork mostly by A.T. Von Sciver. Yeah, some of these issues we have guest appearance by, of course, well, the JLA and the Justice and the JSA, which I think when this comic came, I think the books had just been relaunched at this point in time. So, and basically they're here to welcome back Max Mercury, who'd been gone for a bit. Yep, basically this is his return. And great the fact that three people in here. We even have Stripey appear in the book. Oh, by the way, this was the penultimate issue released. Let's see, it was December, so this is actually the third issue released in 2000. After this comes a three-part thing, where, by the way, A.T. Von Sciver does not do this issue here, where issues 68, 69, 70. 68 is done by Eric Battle, the artwork for that one. 69 is Eric Battle 2. Whereas an epilogue to Circle of Fire actually happens, of course, of two issues. Yeah, it's a two-part epilogue to Circle of Fire story from Green Lantern, where the first one teams up with Adam Strange. Yeah, where he goes to Planet Ran for an issue and also go deal with Brazil. And then he teams up with Kyle Rayner, because why not? It really can follow up to Circle of Fire. I actually like Circle of Fire, sorry. And then comes issue 70, where the cover itself is a homage to the classic Flash cover, Flash 123, where you have Impulse and another version of Bart Allen, wearing a slightly slimmer costume than he does, and ready to chase a guy on train tracks, which, really cool the fact they did this. 71, meanwhile, though, basically... Oh, almost forgot to mention, though. Bart has a girlfriend in these issues. Yes, believe it or not, Bart has a girlfriend. And basically, she's been still semi-active in this book. She's here until pretty much the end of the series. Oh, yeah, she is. At one point, she's kidnapped and taken future. We have this story called Return of Lucius Killer, which starts issue 71. It wraps up by 75. Where Kara is kidnapped. Also, this is when he realized he has feelings for Carol. And has changed to the future. And also, I think one of the villains of this book, Lucas Killer, thought that Helen was Max Mercury's wife. He's like, no, she's not. She's my daughter. You're like, what? Yeah, he was shocked at the fact because she looked exactly like his wife. Well, looked like her mother anyways. Which, that was the kind of thing with Helen, per se. Because at first, basically, it's like, yeah, she's a slightly older woman. And she's quite nice. And the weird thing is, when she first met her father, she flirted with him. Because she had no idea this man was her father. No idea. But they were friends. Nothing really romantic between the two of them. Oh, I thought it was multi-part. Actually, it was two-part. And we have Dark Tomorrow, which has Carol. This is what Carol's brought to the future. By Bart's mom. Yes. Where we debut the character... the Dark Tomorrow version of Impulse, which I'm sure for a fact this was inspired by what was happening in Flash at that point where he had like Dark Flash. It's like a very similar idea with that one. And look at the whole Dark Tomorrow thing. It lasts just for a quick couple issues. And all deal with this guy called President Thawne. Who is President Thawne, you might ask? He's Bart's grandpa. Yep, and I believe he's like a distant relative of Eobard Thawne. His real name is Thaddeus Thawne. Where his family is hated. He's associated with post-Zero stuff. 75 was his also, fun fact, this was his last comic appearance in Impulse. Yeah. And this was his last appearance for years until he popped up an issue of Young Justice Volume 3 by... Okay. Anyways, he comes back here for this one issue, which came out just a few years ago, and that was it for him. Anyways, so great issues overall. Give the book roughly a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is a book that I'm sure Fantivia is probably loving the fact I'm discussing this book. We have Young Justice, Book 1. Written, almost the entire series is written by Peter David. There's a few issues he doesn't write, but mostly put he is the main writer of this book. The thing with this book is, this book was not his idea. No, it's not. He is the one credited for creating Young Justice, yes. He told me this when I last saw him. This was before he passed away. He passed away this year. Excuse me. Where, basically, he was pitched this idea to do this book. He was simply just hired to do this book. He was not his initial idea, but that's kind of the book started. So, this book here collects the first 7 issues of Impulse. Young Justice, along with issue 1,000,000, Young Justice Wild Grown-Ups, Sig Origins, which has 3 stories involving 3 of the characters, and also, what else is in here? And Secret Files. So, the book, for some reason, started out with... Now, by the way, Peter Davis being written with Todd Bazenko, D. Curtis Johnson, Chuck Dixon, Mark Waid, Carl Kitzler, Jay Ferber, and Tom Perry. I'm sure Chuck Dixon probably did the... Now, Young Justice, at the time the book started, was just Tim Drake Robin, Connor Kent Superboy, and Bart Down Impulse. Now, for some reason, the book itself started out with... And I'm not sure why this trade did this for. They started with the World Rock Grown-Ups miniseries. Yes, where they kind of basically came together to save the day. Then after this book, we had Young Justice The Secret, where they meet the character known as The Secret. And they kind of came together officially when they were just spending the night in the old Secret Sanctuary, which was the original headquarters of the Justice League. Before they had to ban it because the Joker found it back in the 70s. Yes, seriously, that was the reason why they did it. And prior to this, you probably think like, oh, after they closed it down, no one used it into this. Oh no, it was used. It was reactivated in the late 80s during the start of the relaunch of, when it became known... Well, actually, it was basically brought back by Jay Matias just prior to the end of Justice League America Volume 1, where he's brought back there, and then after, when it became Justice League International, moved to the Embassy. Then afterwards, we think, oh, was the place still banned afterwards? Oh no. The place was briefly occupied by the Doom Patrol. Yep, they briefly took residence in the place. And at one point, I think prior to after this, the JSA were occupants of this place. So... Throughout this book, throughout the series, the Young Justice team basically are headquartered out of basically Secret Sanctuary. They also find Red Tornado, who is basically pieces and basically in hibernation. He's reacted by complete accident. We also get basically a view of the character known as Secret, where she was killed by her brother. That was later on in the book. We also basically had to get our hands on the old Whiz Wagon, which was a vehicle first commonly associated with freight people, which Superboy calls the Supermobile, or at least Supercycle. Yes, he seriously calls something that was created by Jack the King Kirby that. Yep. And also, we get a chance to see the debut of Arrowlet. Basically, she is the daughter of the original Arrowlet, where she was a character who appeared in a couple issues of World's Finest back in the 1970s. Peter David probably just brought her in because no one was using her, so they had her meet some guy, they get married, they have a daughter, and the daughter is kind of forced into the superhero life by her mother because basically she's bitter about the fact she wasn't successful being a superhero, so she forced her daughter to become a superhero, and she joined this team. And of course, also in these issues, Cassie Sandmark, aka Wonder Girl, joins the roster. She also, well, at first she's wearing the outfit that John Byrne designed for her in the Wonder Woman title, which was the black T-shirt look that she had with the glasses. Which this is the book where she dishes that and gets the she gets a chance to wear first basically Donna Troy's old costume as Wonder Girl, which I thought that was really cool. The fact that they did that. But in case you're curious, so like, now the team itself does not come together issue 1. Oh no, they come together in Young Justice: The Secret. Well, they kind of come together, well, officially issue 1. But Secret basically is kind of the origin story of kind of how the team came together. Yeah. Because that's basically the purpose of Young Justice: The Secret, is that was the first consequence of the team, and it takes place before Justice League. It basically, it's before we're all grown-ups, and basically this is the book where they decide to become official team, per se. And the first one they find in the book is called Mighty Endowed, which was a new god character who only appears in the opening issue that you return in the Secret Follows Origins book. Yeah. In issue 2, they fight someone called Rip Roar. Rip Roar, by all appearance-wise, is basically New God ripoff of Monolith, an old Teen Titans villain. Yeah, and he's a character who only appears in issue 2, but he fights Young Justice in a crossover with Spy Boy. And then here's the weird thing. 2 issues in, they basically have the Millennium issue, the 1 million, which basically has, well, this universe timeline version of Superboy, Robin, and Impulse. Now, Young Justice Legion T is what the team is called. Robin in the Millennium timeline is basically a robot. Superboy is basically OMAC. And Impulse is basically this light beam character. And this book was basically his debut appearance. Robin made his debut, I think it was in Batman 1 million. Oh, it was this one, yes. But he was very active throughout the entirety of the 1 million comic books. Yeah, that's generally put what he was basically there for. And after this issue here, they go straight back to modern day, where it's a Halloween issue. Yes, a Halloween issue where it features them taking a Mixie-Mixaplick. Not a bad idea to do. And then issue 4, this is when Wonder Girl joins the team along with Arrowlet. And Secret, of course. We also first appearance of Harm and Torma. Harm is Secret's brother, and also the person who killed her. Tora is a Maslin who gets arrested basically in her debut appearance. She's easily defeated by Young Justice, and then she is just taken into custody and never seen again. Yep. By issue 5, of course, they'll still deal with Harm. Harm apparently dies in issue number 5, but he comes back. He comes back basically in the next volume, which is discussed at some point. There's a cameo here about the JLA. Which, by the way, issue 6 cover is also the cover of the trade paperback. This is basically them taking on Despero, who was a ghost at this point. I think he was dead. Yes. By issue 7, where basically you have Cassie's mom, Arlette's mom, Doubleshot, Max Mercury, and Nightwing. Basically, everybody's guardians show up basically for an issue. Just really interesting, though, we have two people who are basically mothers. Now, Bonnie, wait, it was Miss Arlette. Yeah, she made like I said, basically 2 issue World's Finest. And mostly put, she was basically just there to be a foil. Actually, it was 3 appearances, actually, I think it was. Yes. Now, as for why she was dropped, I'm not sure, but that's basically what happened with her. The Secret Origins 80-page giant, they mostly didn't collect all the stories in this big book here. It just focused on stories for Robin, Impulse, and Superboy. Yeah, I think that was an Impulse. Impulse was done by Mark Waid, his creator. Superboy was done by Carl Ketzel, the guy who created him. Little Wing, which is a Robin and Nightwing story. You're probably thinking, did Chuck Dixon read this one? Oh, yes, he did. It may have been the whole book they included here. But it was really good, this book. It was just purely amazing, the fact that they included this Secret Origins book, which basically has origins of all the Young Justice members, which really cool to do that. But as for my ranking for this trade paperback, I give it a 10 out of 10 because Young Justice is amazing. Yep. Yes, it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Well, I gotta go back outside, take care of something, even though I thought I took care of everything. Next video. Bye.